humanity has gone way over what we were. All our standard is changed. When did we ever have a country like United States? Before either it was, you know, Genghis Khan or was Alexander or Hannibal. There is no superpower like United States to have such a great democracy in it, where all the individuals have their right, you know. This is a matter of perspective. When I'm saying, when I'm looking at the understanding of humanity and the level and the index, I see all the Canadians are Baha'is compared to many, many nations in the world. Developing countries, whether it's economy, whether it's social understanding, whether it's spirituality, whether it's giving money and donation to others, helping hand, Canadians are all Baha'is. And maybe there's a nation comes in the future way better than what Canadians today are, and then compared to them, they are Baha'is and we're not still. So it's a relative matter. Surely, if this is Baha'i Faith, is a relative truth. So don't be baffled by the people who are joining Baha'i Faith and they sign up Baha'is and you think that they are Baha'is and others are not. That is not true. Others who are not signed up under the Baha'i Faith, they have not come into the spaceship of Bahaullah and the World Order. They have not yet come to help us. They have not come yet to join us. We're asking the hand to everyone to come and help each other, all. And in this process, Bahaullah does not want to, Baha'is, they don't want to change you to be like us. No. Whoever you are, whatever you are, as long as you like to talk and communicate and believe that we need peace, you're Baha'i. And if I compare everybody to the standard of Abdul Baha, there is no Baha'i in the world at all. None. So, what is Baha'i? Baha'i is a person who enters into this World Order of Bahaullah, which is the University of Bahaullah, whatever you like to call it. In there, once I remember my brother was saying, "Are you sick that you call yourself a Baha'i?" I told him, "Precisely, brother, I am sick. Because Bahaullah calls himself divine physicians. I am sick. I'm going to him. It's a matter of perspective. The perfection that I have understood after reading Baha'i Faith, I see myself, I got a lot of shortcomings." He says, "So what am I?" I told him, "You're dead. There's peace among the dead people. But we Baha'is, we may be sick. We are sick. But we're alive. And we're with the divine physicians. At one point, hopefully, we'll all become okay." So this is very important, that the Baha'i Faith does not want to convert. But Ashobi Effendi clearly says we have not come to replace the religions of the past. In fact, we like to help the other religion to understand the inner meaning of their own religion. But if they want to stay as a Christian or Muslim, be it. Except that the real Islam and real Christianity, based on their books, based on the Baha'i understanding of it, it would not cause trouble for people. You know, it's more like you're grade 4, we're grade 5. So if you want to stay in the high school and you don't want to come in university, be it. You can be there. We're still friends. We'll have to, because who knows? I might go to hell and you may go to paradise. Who knows? At this point right now, in this juncture, in this life, we are the pieces of jigsaw puzzle. You want to put it together? Baha'u'llah's created world order to put it together, to right humanity. Stop converting people to each other. That's not going to work. That is not the aim at all. Second things, you could say, the salient feature of this Baha'i world order is really is based on the ancient philosophy of, like Chinese say, yin and yang. In the Quran, it's called an azwaj, means two pairs. It's based on the two equal and opposite forces that are confirming with each other. There are necessity. They're like man and women. They're electron, like proton. It's the two necessary pieces that have to come. The world of creation, it needs two. It's like matter and antimatter. It's two sides to it. everything that wants to stay has to have two sides, or else it will be outside. It will create dictatorship. This is why in the Baha'i Faith there's another one, that phrase of Shogi Effendi written in gold: evil of the excessive centralization. Evil of the excessive centralization. At the same time, he says, if there's no center, so we're not good, we're bewildering around. No, we need a center, but if there's too much centralization, then it creates a black hole that sucks, the center sucks everybody right inside and kills them. How do we do this? Bahaullah says there's two institutions. One is the institution of guardianship, international institution of universal house of guardianship, and universal house of justice. They're both elected by the people, and they interact with each other. And they have different responsibilities. One is legislating, the other one is interpreting. Bahaullah purposely says the meaning of my book is not known to the member of the Universal House of Justice. That's strange. Those people at the top, they can legislate the laws, but they are not able, according to him, to understand the meaning of the book. They cannot interpret the book. Universal House of Guardianship, on the other hand, can interpret the book. Again, elected by people, basically like Senate and Congress. That's what Bahaullah clearly says. He says good government is like the one in, he mentioned those as like London, he says, meaning in England, he says. But there are two houses, and then there's a king. So these two parts are very important to be understood, although the Universal House of Guardianship is a new thing to the Baha'is. Baha'is, they don't understand it yet there, believe me. But I've written a book on that, and I will explain in detail later on what this is and where is it coming from. Everything of it is in there, in the Baha'i Faith. After Shogi Effendi died, he had 27 hands of the cause, their personal, his personal, basically assistant, and they asked the Baha'is of the world to create, to vote, come to vote, and create Universal House of Justice, with themselves not being the member of it, just to be there to provide the means to create this house. But at this time, Bahaullah has 5 elders, that's in the book clearly, I am one of them, that these 5 elders, they have to come and create this Universal House of Guardianship, proposing it to the Baha'is. And it's new for the first time. If you have heard any other version, is wrong. The Universal House of Justice in 1963 formed under the authority of the hands of the cause of God, which were the personal assistant of the Shogi Effendi. That is the only Universal House of Justice that is correct and can exist. Any other House of Justice today as an elder of God, I tell you, is wrong. The one that's constituted there and is located in Israel, that is the real one. So as the Universal House of Guardianship that would have to come in future, its members are only women, as opposed to the Universal House of Justice, which the members are only men. These two houses are kept separate because matter in the religion becomes very, very personal if it comes to legislations. Man and women are equal, really. Equal power, but different. Baha'i Faith says they're different, but they're equal. So they control what the laws should be. If the laws are not correct to their satisfaction, Universal House of Guardianship asks for a revision of it. They cannot legislate it themselves, but they have the right to say that, change it, much like senates in some of the countries. So, therefore, Baha'i Faith, unlike other religions in the past, amazingly, has made it practical. It is practical that this religion of God shall take, and this is this invention as such is the most amazing. For those who understand books or read or that, they know that the mind of an apparently Iranian person in 18th century, to put these things together in this manner, it has to be divinely ordained sources for it. It is impossible. That the mind of even people today, they're afflicted with the religion so much, and Bahaullah saw this long time ago. This definitely is one of them. But there's one other point I have to mention, a misunderstanding that it is among the Baha'is. They think universal laws of justice, some people, they take it as the sole authority in the planet Earth. That is not the case, again, no. This faith of God is based unity, based on the, principles, prime directive of the unity in diversity. And the world is diverse, but they're united. So this is only for the spiritual affair of the people. Because in the Baha'i Faith, we have clearly mentioned the name Baha'i governments. The Baha'i governments that are coming in the future are not the universal laws of justice or the universal laws of guardianship. They are the Baha'is when they become majority in a country, they automatically, when they vote, a Baha'i government comes. But it is not under the authority of the universal laws of justice or anything else. They are not. The Baha'is are people. They have a spiritual need for which they have a World Order of Bahaullah. They have economical need. They have cities, social life. So for every department, they have power to elect for that particular department without intervention into any one of them. Religion has been in the past always a part of the integrated part of the government in the society from the beginning. It is in the Baha'i Faith too, but they're not kings. Bahaullah says the kingdom will remain, and he likes to see the kings, but the way he says, as it is in England, to be democracy, but with the kingdom. So kingdom has nothing to do with universal laws of justice. Baha'is are in the future. They have their own government. The laws that they have is based on that. And never a non-Baha'i would be suffering, can be suffering in the Baha'i Faith. Democracy is not just to elect a person and call him the president, therefore he's the will of majority. No, that does not create democracy at all. A lot of countries in the world, they elected. Communism, they were electing some government, one-party system. That is not creating democracy either. There's 5 members, in the Central Committee of the Communist Party. That was the majority of the people electing them. Did it create democracy? No. Democracy is created in the United States of America, in Canada, in Australia mainly, and in some countries in Europe. And other countries later on they learn how to do it. It is because in a real democracy there are 2 opposite forces, which in the US we have Democrats and Republicans. In England is the Labour Party, and Tories. Here in Canada we have the same thing. These 2 opposite forces, when they exist, then it creates democracy. So people have to elect 2 opposite forces that they're not opposing each other, but they're standing side by side, confirming each other. They need each other. They have to interact with each other. That interaction that they have with each other, it creates democracy. This is how democracy is made. Do you want to know the sign of democracy, the coordinate of democracy? Is when the minority, those who lost the election, they have the same equal right as the winners. If in a democracy, if in a government, the minorities, those who lost the election, those who couldn't be a part of it, colored people, different religion, smaller, if they have the same right as the majority, we have achieved democracy. That's how the democracy has to be made, which